Hello there. The Netherlands might be the next country to take a sidestep to the right. This is getting very, very interesting. It's very traditional for the UK to be completely out of step with the rest of Europe, and that's what's being played out right now in the political spectrum. The Netherlands is due to hold a general election this Wednesday, an election brought on by the fall of the globalist government of Prime Minister Mark Rutte earlier this year, reports Breitbart. But a very recent poll shows that the right-wing Party for Freedom, the PVV, is level pegging at the top with Rutte's People's Party for Freedom and Democracy, the VVD, with both parties projected to take 26 seats apiece, leaving only 24 seats for all the other 22 parties to fight over. And the right-wing PVV is headed by none other than Geert Wilders. And should his party do well or even top the election, it will send shockwaves through the European Union. Now, Wilders is an EU member state politician who was refused entry into the UK in February 2009. And why? Because not only is he a critic of the European Union, he is also a critic of the religion of Islam. A double whammy where our establishment was and still is concerned. And in 2009, he was due to show his 17-minute film critique of that religion, called Fitna, to the House of Lords. But he was refused entry into the UK by a Labour government because, according to the Home Office, his opinions threaten community harmony and therefore public safety. These building blocks that support our current situation were put in place a long time ago, and not just by the Tories. And Wilders' ban was not overturned until October 2009. After which he was allowed into the UK to support a certain Mr. Robinson in 2018. And now, after years of the EU moving ever further left, woke and open borders, the right-wing parties are beginning to gain more favour. With Breitbart saying about the Dutch elections, polls have suggested the likely formation of a right-wing coalition government amid growing discontent in the country over mass migration. And the press has generally labelled Wilders as, yes, you've got it, far right. And the lefties are out with 2 days to go to voting day, imploring people to vote tactically to stop Wilders' party from gaining any power. Going woke appears to have broken EU politics. But while the EU moves to the right, the UK is about to gift our left-wing Labour Party a historic landslide general election victory, unless the electorate quickly wakes up to the dangers of so doing. But this is not a victory for left-wing politics in the UK. No, it is a self-injuring one by the voters to punish the Tories for not being a centre-right party. Punishment for not dealing with our borders and not delivering a proper Brexit, so leaving Northern Ireland behind. Punished for eye-wateringly high taxes as well as their responses to the health emergency. But in our rigid two-party system that is really just one establishment uniparty, we always vote for red when blue mess up, and vice versa. Somehow expecting a different result than the anti-UK stuff we get from them in between elections. So by default the UK will lurch to the left and get lots of ultra-left-wing policies the people don't really want, because the Tories must be taught a lesson. Any voter who elects Labour on that basis, or by not voting, deserves any wealth they have being redistributed by the Reds. So while the EU goes all border control and the like, the Labour lovies will be showering visas about the globe with gay abandon, just like the Tories did and are being punished for. Now many people will point at Spain and say, look at the socialists there, they won. Yes, Pedro Sanchez led the left to victory, but he had to pay a very high price to get it, a price that led to many protest marches. What he did was offer amnesty for those involved in the Catalan attempt 6 years ago to force their independence from Spain, something that led to the arrest and jail time for many. And it is this amnesty deal that got Sanchez the support he needed. But a recent poll on the matter showed that 70% of Spanish voters were against an amnesty. So I would say that the left sowed the division in order to gain the power in Spain. Has a ring of familiarity about it, doesn't it? And the only spark of socialism coming out of Germany is based on Sarah Wagenknecht's anti-woke and anti-immigration Socialist Party. Looks like worldwide enforced wokery is now at risk. Thank goodness. Now here's an interesting little snippet of news. Again from Breitbart. Biological woman wins 2023 Miss Universe pageant. What on earth is all that about? Biological woman? What other sort is there? Oh, of course it's 2023 and it's the age of wokery. So what else should we expect? With the report going on to say, a biological woman, Miss Nicaragua, Shainis Palacios, won the crown at the Miss Universe pageant Saturday in El Salvador. Now the company which runs the pageant, which Breitbart said recently filed for bankruptcy, has been headed since 2022 by a trans rights advocate, Anne-Jacques Rajoutatip. And this year the pageant had 2 transgender contestants, probably hence the headline. What a world. Now it's not just in the EU where the right is growing its support base. It's also happened on the other side of the world in Argentina. A right-wing candidate, Xavier Milei, came from relative obscurity to take 56% of the vote to take the presidency. Now the new president is a former TV pundit and, horror of horrors, a Donald Trump supporter, with his own supporters wearing Make Argentina Great Again t-shirts, their own version of Trump's MAGA campaign. And he's promised to make drastic changes to Argentina. There is no room for gradualism, there is no room for lukewarmness or half measures, there is no way back, he said in his victory speech. And he's also talked about privatisation of state bodies and denied climate change. What a bad man. Now my take on all of this is that when those we elect ignore us in favour of corruptly handing our futures over to unelected woke international bodies and huge greedy international corporates, then the people react and change the political landscape, as is their right and duty to do so. It's just a pity that in the UK we're not replacing a con-socialist party with a conservative with a small c party. No, we're rejecting a con-socialist party and replacing it with a full-on socialist party. UK voter logic at work again. We in the UK are in desperate need of a full political reset.